Are you an accounting or tax professional who wants to stay ahead without spending a dime? Join thousands who trust insightful accountant and tax practice news to keep them informed and empowered. Get expert updates on QuickBooks, Xero, tax planning strategies, and workflow tips delivered straight to your inbox. Whether you're a solo bookkeeper, firm leader, or tax advisor, these newsletters are your shortcut to what's next in the profession. They're free, practical, and built for people like you. Visit insightfulaccountant.com and hit subscribe to start your smarter workflow today for free.
Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of the Accounting Insiders Podcast. My name is Gary DeHart. I'm the host of the Accounting Insiders Podcast, as well as the publisher of Insightful Accountant. And my guest today, I always like to put the date on there. It's September the 30th, 2025, the last day of the third quarter of the year, which is really hard to believe. And my wife is currently a teacher. This is her last year teaching, so she would also say it's her last day of teaching in September. So she's pretty excited about that. But my guest today is Nellie Akalp. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Yes. All right. She's the founder and CEO of CorpNet, or CorpNet.com is where you would find them. So I appreciate you taking some time to have a discussion. We like to get people from all parts of the profession, whether it be the vendor side, whether it be some of our top 100 pro advisors, or people in between. Just to talk about what's going on in the space, what's going on with your business, what are you seeing out in the marketplace. So thanks for carving out, 20 minutes or so to just to share some information. Nellie?
I appreciate it, Gary. Thank you for having me on. And lots of exciting things happening out there, especially in, the accountant world, since this is Insightful Accountant. So yeah, I'm excited to share what I'm seeing.
All right. Before we dive too far, your background, you're a lawyer, right? Is that correct? By training or by schooling?
By schooling, I am,
Okay.
and I have my Juris Doctorate degree, but I did not practice law anytime after
Okay.
getting the degree. I went right into entrepreneurship, and
Okay.
I'm grateful for that opportunity of having gone to law school, but I really wanted to, become my own boss, and entrepreneurship was something I had envisioned for my life since I could ever think of it.
Yeah.
So right after law school, my husband had started our first company, and I just got right into it with him, and we took that company and grew it, and then it was acquired by a publicly traded company. Took some time off, and then in 2009 started CorpNet, and CorpNet's been our baby since 2009, and we're really, really excited to where CorpNet has, led us to, and I think we just celebrated 16 years at CorpNet, 17 years. I've lost track.
Right. Well, happy birthday, anniversary,
Thank you.
whatever we want to call that. So
Thank you.
so you're welcome. So what was kind of the impetus, or kind of what started this company, made you think, wow, this is a need? What brought you here?
So exactly what you're saying. It's all about need. It's all about need or pain points, and solving pain points, and solving pain points out there for accountants, entrepreneurs, CPAs. And for us, I've been in this industry for 25 plus years. We got into the legal filing industry in 1997, and I love it. I love creating things out of nothing. I love seeing businesses grow. I love solving pain points out there. And initially, when we got into this industry, it was helping entrepreneurs. And then we realized that, well, we can, not only solve entrepreneurs' pain points, but go after entrepreneurs in mass numbers by going to their accountants and CPAs and advisors. And once we sold the first company, took some time off, and started CorpNet, first, you have that big ego. I've done this before, I can do it again. And with CorpNet, we really, really soon realized that no, the same business model that we used for our first company couldn't really be used for our second company. And with CorpNet, we decided to fully have a B2B business model. I mean, when you go to the website serves everyone, B2C, B2B. But for us, to really take CorpNet to a different level, we really needed to go full force after the B2B market. And it was evident just by looking at our top 100 customers and seeing that they were all representing entrepreneurs. So at the end of the day, we're serving the entrepreneur. It's just the vehicle or the vessel we use to get to the end user. And for us, the accountant, CPA advisory market is proven really lucrative with our CorpNet Partner Program that we launched back in 2013, 14. It's a hit amongst accountants and CPAs and financial advisors, whether it be an enrolled agent, bookkeeper or a tax advisor, other than an accountant or a CPA. They love us. And really what it is, it's a pay as you go service where the accountant can now have a fulfillment resource to go to when it comes to serving their clients' needs as it relates to business formation, compliance, payroll, state account setups and closures in all 50 states.
Okay. And I was about to ask that. It goes across all 50 states.
Yes.
Okay. And so generally, so CorpNet, is it all about corporate filings, or what's the
We're a one-stop shop. We're
okay.
basically a one-stop shop, where for businesses of any size. If you need to start a business, if you have a business and need to expand it in multiple states, if you want to keep a business in compliance, if you're now expanding your business and hiring employees. So any aspect of a business filings process, whether it's incorporating a business, forming an LLC, foreign qualifying a business, amending a business, dissolving a business, setting up payroll tax accounts, closing payroll tax accounts, filing an initial annual report, or simply, keeping a corporation or LLC in compliance. We provide all of those services from A to Z in all 50 states.
Okay. Okay. And the way that like an accounting professional, it seems like they're very core to what you guys do. How do they kind of use this type of service to either better serve their clients, or maybe even use it as a prospecting tool
Yeah.
for new clients, right? What do you guys see?
So we're seeing more and more I mean, just to kind of give you some numbers, we get about anywhere from 180 to 240 accountants per month who join our CorpNet Partner Program.
Okay.
It's a very, very wonderful tool for accountants who want to grow their firm, who want to, become a full service CAS firm and add these services to their CAS advisory form. And, for us, we see that more and more accountants are really wanting to join the CorpNet Partner Program because they want to get engaged with their clients during the uptake of their business. So by embedding services such as entity formation, filings, compliance, and payroll tax setup to their already suite of services, they're not only going to be engaging with their clients more early in the stage of the business startup process, but they're gonna keep their clients, longer, because now they're offering services that the client would otherwise have to go somewhere else to receive. And I think client engagement becomes a lot higher. And I think, their revenues, both residual and, just their revenue stream goes higher by engaging these clients earlier in their stage of the game, but also offering these additional services by, for example, in their intake form, asking the client, hey, are you, interested in tax savings and tax savings, business filing structures that can potentially, save you more taxes, give you additional protection. And then from there, the list goes on. If you have an existing entity, are you planning on hiring employees? Are you, looking for somebody to help you keep your entities in compliance? So I think all of these can be added and embedded into the client intake form, for an accountant or a CPA who's looking to not only expand their service offerings, but keep their clients engaged, year round.
Right. So so you've been in the accounting space for a while. I've been in the accounting space for a while. So we both know, no offense to anybody that might be listening to this who is an accountant, but accountants are not necessarily the most risk tolerant people, right? So
Yes,
they
I know
they're
that.
very risk averse, which is a good thing. You want your accountant to be risk averse,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Um, so what do you say? Well, so my thought is, well, I'm not a lawyer. So do I
Yeah.
need to really get tied into this kind of business or
Well, that's actually a perfect question and a perfect segue into what I want to talk about. Is that's one of the reasons why we came out with the CorpNet Partner Program, is that you don't have to get involved. You leave it all to us. We are
yeah,
your silent fulfillment partner. We're doing all of the legwork. We're doing all of the setup and the formation. But going back to your question, Gary, is the, accountants are in the perfect position to offer these services to their clients because your clients come to you for tax advice. So accountants are and CPAs are perfectly equipped to give their clients advice when it comes to tax savings and implications of, tax consequences when they're setting up a business entity. So we're not saying for the accountant or CPA to answer questions when it comes to liability implications
hmm,
of a business structure. What we're saying is that, when a client walks into your office and they're wondering whether a corporation or an LLC is better suited for their business, the accountant or CPA is the one who's going to be advising them on the tax implications and the tax savings of either entity. So the next question that naturally comes from that is, well, can you get me set up with a corporation or LLC? And it just it's in my opinion, it really really is a benefit. It's a plus to that accountant or CPA to be able to say absolutely. In fact, we're partnered with CorpNet who can
yeah,
take care of X, Y, and Z for you in any of the 50 states. And then on the other hand, if that accountant is a little bit more, uh, I would say, is a little less risk averse, they
hmm,
can even offer those services as a reseller, and we would just be the back end silent fulfillment partner. So it's a win-win because they're not offering legal advice. It's tax
right.
advice that's, really transferring into entity setup and compliance, which can be handled by a company like ours so that they can be hands off.
Yeah, I think the worst answer that an accountant could give me, just use me as an example, if I'm your small business client and you tell me, hey, you should form this, in this formation. And I ask the natural question would be, oh, well, can you help me with that? If their response is no, go find a lawyer, then that's not a good response because
Well,
it's,
and that's what, that's my goal here, is to create this lack of awareness that there is really to this moment out there, that you don't need a lawyer to, pretty much file documents and fill out forms that are required to be filed by the Secretary of State's office. And you don't need to tell your clients to go find a lawyer to do this, because you're really doing your client a disservice, because the client's going to end up paying a lot of legal fees for
yeah.
documents that they can either do on their own and pay a filing fee, or having a reputable filing company such as our company handle the filing for them at one iota of a price of what an attorney would charge them.
Right. Yeah. So giving me a place to go is going to make me stickier, right? And make me like you better. Oh, you look, wow, they handle everything. They did
Well,
it all.
and
The
it's going
answers
to
were there.
enhance your advisory services,
Exactly.
and your rapport with that client, and that client's going to want to come back. Plus, you're creating this type of relationship where the client now is dependent upon you. So when they form the entity, they're coming back to you, and this way you're able to build residual revenue for your firm.
Right. Yep. Now, is that something, do you know, that would have to be disclosed from a CPA's perspective? If they were
Which part
taking a
of it?
fee or what, like if I'm taking a fee or referral fees or things like that.
Oh, well, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
And again, it's not something that you're required to do as far as taking a referral fee.
Right.
Our partner program is very flexible, whereby a lot of the accountants are basically passing on that referral fee that they would otherwise receive onto their clients, so that their clients are receiving a discount working with CorpNet. So
Okay.
the
Gotcha.
program is really flexible. And then on the other side of it is, if that accountant or CPA wants to be a reseller, they're just offering the service as their own. So there is no referral fee. They're basically offering the services as their own, and we're charging that accountant or CPA who's a reseller a wholesale price. And then that accountant or CPA is marking
Hmm.
up that price and offering it to their clients.
Gotcha. Okay. And
Yeah.
so, what's the requirement to actually be a member of the partner program?
There is no requirement.
Okay.
Well, I shouldn't say that. The only requirement is that you have clients that you're representing. I mean, once in a while we get that one person who comes in and goes, "Oh, I want to join the partner program to use this service for myself." This is a program where we're helping you grow your, client base by offering services to your clients that are going to improve your practice, and expand your service offerings, and create an additional stream of revenue for your practice. So the only requirement for you to become a CorpNet partner is that you actually have clients, or your intention is to start offering these clients these services to gain more clients.
Right. Okay. Great. And that's corpnet.com/partners with an S,
Yes, it's
right? So,
www.corpnet.com/partners. We have amazing literature on there. There's a great video that talks about the program. And the program is a pay as you go service. There is no initiation fees, there's no setup fees. It's simply a program designed to suit your needs and meet you
mm,
where you are in your practice.
okay, perfect. So I think we've talked about how accountants, one of my questions was how can accountants take, a leadership role kind of with their clients regarding this, but we've already talked about that. I mean, but it starts with, just to kind of recap it, right? Starts with being in touch with what your client's doing. I
Yes,
mean, you
yes,
need to be, it goes to the CAS, right? To the advisory side of the business. And it's an opportunity to enhance the advisory side of your practice, because if if you're in tune, if you, my accountant, are in tune with what I'm doing in my business, then you should be my advisor. I need you as my advisor. And it
yes,
might be that, my last accountant or my last legal person put me, or tax person set my business up wrong from the start,
yes, yeah,
and my accountant is the one who should be raising that flag saying, we should change this entity type, et cetera, whatever the challenge may be.
yes.
So it's advisory role, right? So,
Yeah.
um, and is that, sticking with the partner program, is it pretty much just self-serve? So I go out there, I,
It
go
really depends.
corpnet.com/partners.
Yeah, it really depends on how you want to work with CorpNet. Again, the program has various different levels. So let's say you're a CPA or an accountant who has massive volume, and you want to connect to our backend API. That's an option.
Mhm.
For a smaller accountant who is really wanting to offer services like ours, but doesn't want to be the go-between and has clients who are coming in and just wants a trusted resource that he or she can refer their clients to and doesn't have to worry about client poaching, then they would become a referral partner. And then in that sense, they would either get a commission for each sale or pass it on as a discount to their clients. Then you have the other CPAs or accountants that are more risk takers and want to offer this service as their own service. They would become a reseller, a white label partner of ours. And in that case, you know, the CPA or the advisor would be the main point of contact with their clients, and we would just do all the back end work. And we would charge the CPA accountant a wholesale price for all of our services, and then the accountant or CPA, depending on what's the norm for their state, would charge an upcharge on their to their clients and sell the services as their own service to their clients. And the profit margin is a little bit higher in that regards, because they'll tend to make a little bit more profit in that sense. But again, it's a pay as you go service. It's very flexible. We have accountants and CPAs and advisors who are both a reseller and a referral partner. We can mix and match the service. But it's really created and designed to meet the needs of the accountant advisor as to wherever they are. And we have a plethora of training and guides to support in their journey once they
Okay.
join the CorpNet Partner Program.
Okay. And all that's in the partner program, the guides and journey. Okay.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
what are the trends that you're seeing as far as business openings, closings? What are you guys seeing on your side? We're seeing more businesses. I mean, certainly I think in COVID, right? We saw a spike, but what are we
Yes.
seeing now? What's the market doing?
I think the market again is still headed towards a ton of new businesses opening up because with our economic climate being so wobbly and shaky, there is no a guarantee of a workforce and having a 9 to 5 job. So I do feel like more and more people are starting to either create a side hustle or just go after their business dreams of starting a new business. But also what I'm starting to see is in the accountant sector and the professional advisory service, the professional advisory arena. I'm seeing more and more accountants and CPAs really go towards offering these types of services and engaging their clients earlier on. As I said a little while ago, is we're seeing about on average 200 accountants and CPAs signing up for our program on a monthly basis. And I think this really started happening on the heels of COVID.
Okay.
More and more businesses, either expanding to having employees outside of their home state, which requires for, expanding their businesses to be qualified in other states, the need to hire for employees. So again, we're seeing a lot of our accountant and CPA clients wanting to offer these services earlier on and getting engaged with their client early on in their entrepreneurial journey.
Right. So hold that thought, because I'm going to come back to that, because I think we're about wrapped up about kind of what we want to discuss on CorpNet, but I want to talk about entrepreneurship. But before we do that, so Intuit Connect is coming up.
Yes,
Kind of a
yes.
quick list, short list of where people can find you guys.
Yes. So we are the premier sponsor for the Intuit Connect event this year, and I'm going to be there. I'd love to meet each and every one of you. I'll be actually handing out a ton of money and prizes, and we have a lot of games going on. This year's theme is nothing but net. And we're going to be hosting a whole basketball kind of dunking fun game with a lot of cash prizes and gift cards. So please stop by the corpnet.com booth. We are the main booth as you walk into the event. We are Intuit Connect's Diamond sponsor this year. So you'll see a lot of CorpNet branding all over.
Yeah. All right. Well, so there's any other events that are planned for this fall?
Generally speaking, we always do Scaling New Heights, which is
Yep,
Joe Woodard's uh, event. That's normally in June, May or
yep,
June. We also do Latino Tax Fest. We are thinking about doing AICPA this year as well. So we're all around. And if we're not at an event, I will tell you, you can find us all over on different publications, Accounting Today, Insightful Accountant, and many
yep,
of the other ones.
yep. Have you ever heard of GrowCon, which is the Universal Accounting?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna
one
look at.
actually. I was just on the phone with them before we hopped on this call, but I'll connect you with
I would
Christy
love
Richards.
that. I would
It's
love that.
Yeah, so we went for the first time last year, and this might only be their this year. I don't want to speak wrong. They haven't had the show for a long time, but they have their whole training academy is Universal Accounting. And so last year they had an event, probably 150 people that were on site, but I think they had another 100 plus 150 or so that were dialed in.
Nice.
Um, it was a smaller event, but pretty engaged. And I think for you guys, it might be a really good place because the most of the people I talked to were fairly new in their
Yeah.
practices
Yeah.
but very entrepreneurial. A lot of
Yeah.
them were, hey, I worked in industry for 20 years and now I decided I'm opening a bookkeeping or an accounting practice.
Yeah. No, I
And
would love that,
yeah,
Gary. I'm so grateful to you. Sorry, my dog is barking.
oh,
I
no
don't know
worries.
if you're hearing it.
They do
The
that. Yeah,
joys, the joys of working from home.
absolutely. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Mine, she's not hanging out with me anymore. She's staying
Oh
upstairs.
no.
So maybe I make too much noise. And so, but I'll make that connection. So look them up at there, and then let's going back. So you're a lawyer by training, by schooling, but always had an entrepreneurial bend. I'm sure having a legal training helps in that perspective.
Yes.
Um, but is this the second company, or
Yes,
was
it
there
is.
another company in there too?
No, no,
Okay.
no. I mean, I've built a lot of different types of, website
Hmm.
companies, but this is my second main real baby. I mean, I've
Okay.
dabbled in everything that you could think of, but mycorporation.com was our first company that we founded back in 1997 with my
Okay.
husband, Phil Akalp. We grew that and then sold it to Intuit and then took some time off. And then we founded CorpNet in 2009. And, we're still in the game. We're excited. And, Intuit is one of our premier partners. We're very excited about that relationship. And
Okay.
we're excited to be one of the nation's leading companies when it comes to document filings, payroll tax, and business filings and compliance.
So what would you say? Because a lot of our space, right? A lot of the accounting space, the public accounting space, are small business owners themselves or entrepreneurs themselves. What would you say, like if you had to go, three or four things, you picked a number that really kind of determine your successful outcome as an entrepreneur?
I mean, I think having a spiritual practice is one thing that's really led to my success because when you have a spiritual practice, and I think, this is something that maybe some people are like listening to this and going, oh, come on, Nellie, but, for me, it works. Having a spiritual practice really, really, in my opinion, is what has led me to my successes because when you have a strong spiritual practice, things will happen because as entrepreneurs you're going to have highs and lows. And what I see is that when those real big highs happen and then when those real big lows happen, I'm not kind of looking at it from a victim
Mm,
kind of type mentality. I'm not looking at it as like this is happening to me. I'm looking at it from a standpoint of this is happening for me, whether it's good or bad. And when you look at things in that sense and in that lens, and when you have a really good foundation of a spiritual practice, whatever that is, you
Hmm.
tend to look at things of happening for you, and you're always questioning what is the lesson here to be learned. So I think that's one thing that has really led to my success, is that, you know, whatever I'm going through, I have radical acceptance about it. And I accept that moment as, this is where I'm supposed to be right now. And this is exactly where I need to be. And something is going to come out of this. That's going to be a big lesson and an opportunity. And knock on wood, that has never proven me wrong to this date. So
Right.
I would say, my spirituality really is one of those things that lends itself to my successes. In addition to that, I would say it's the consistency, getting up,
Mm.
showing up, suiting up every single day of your life, whether it's a good day or a bad day. We have to, as entrepreneurs, be consistent in what we do in order for, you know, us to be able to see the other side, the light
Right.
at the end of the tunnel.
Hmm. Suit up and show up.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I like it. And then now what about, I mean, again, training was legal past, since you've started in legal. I mean, so pretty much you've always been in legal. So there's something
I mean, I went to
tied to
law
legal,
school.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I went to law school.
yeah,
I'm not admitted to the bar. I'm not a
right.
licensed attorney. And that was my choice. And just
Yeah.
because of the fact that I really wanted, my legal journey of getting educated in law school to be kind of a foundation for me, and to really give me the tools I needed to become a better entrepreneur. So
Mm.
for me, having gone to law school has really helped me in, being able to pick out, the critical, languages in a document when I'm signing a
Sure.
contract, or even, when it comes to conflict resolution, and being able to really hold my own in front of a group of, executives or colleagues. And I think from that sense, it's really given me a lot,
Yeah.
as far as benefits.
So is that kind of, would you call it, I mean, so legal is a passion? And
I
where I'm
love,
going with that is,
it's interesting. I really loved and enjoyed law school, and to this day, I really do enjoy the legal aspects of running my business. Although, the company is at a point right now where we have a team of attorneys who represent us, but I always enjoy collaborating with my legal team.
yeah, yeah. And so that goes to kind of just the passion part, right? For an entrepreneur. I mean, anybody, I don't want to say anybody, air quotes, anybody can go buy a franchise and make sandwiches, right? But, if you're not passionate about that, you're not really going to want to go and make sandwiches every day,
I think
right?
passion is, I mean, I think that needs to be kind of like across the board. Passion is the key, and really believing in what you're doing is really the key to success.
Mhm.
In addition to, having kind of a consistent practice, personally, but like, it really starts with, like, you can't just start, coming, like, I see a lot of people out there that are like, I'm going to do this so I can become an overnight success. Like, it's not about that.
Yeah,
For me, it's never been about that. It's, the money is just a tool that gets you from point A to B. It's, for me, it's solving the problems and the pain points out there. That's really what gives me the rise, and that's why I'm still doing it at the age of 54.
yeah.
And it's exciting to me. It's exciting to me when when I see, our advisory sector coming back to me and going, it's because of you guys that my firm from what went from A to B, and we're doing X amount of businesses. And that's something that I'm proud of.
That's awesome. All right.
Thank
Well, I
you.
think that might be what we leave it on, unless actually my last note here, anything in the pipeline or that's recently announced that you can
Yes,
share that's
yes.
kind of a new
So
service
we have
offering?
a lot of stuff that just came out. Our two major products that came out is, one of the things that CorpNet is known for is, we have all of our team is US based. Okay. So,
Yeah.
and all of our templates and documents, they're customized. They're customized based on whatever state it is that, our clients are needing to set up a business or keep that business in compliance. And one of the areas that we were kind of trying to fill is we get a lot of requests for nonprofit corporations, and so we came out with customized nonprofit bylaws in all 50 states. We just came out with our annual meeting minutes service for corporations of any type. So if somebody needs a annual meeting minute and they haven't done one for this year or any prior year, we can get you all set up and up to date. And then our newest product is our state tax account closure service. So as you know, a lot of people, when they're hiring employees, they set up payroll tax accounts in any state that they're trying to plan. They're planning on paying that employee. Well, the same way, they may need to, close that state accounts, that payroll tax account, because that employee has either moved or that business has relocated. So we've now introduced our payroll state tax account closure services, which is now available in all 50 states.
Okay. Now, one more, do you know, so back on the nonprofit side, do you know Greg Bosson?
I do not know Greg Boston.
You probably should get to know him too. Just think from a collaboration standpoint, he does a lot of training on not-for-profit.
I would love to get to know him. Yeah.
So I think he'd be
I mean,
a good
it's all
connection
about, sharing insights with whatever, who you know, who I know.
Yep.
But I love any type of, trade shows, accounting events, people that you may know that I could be of service to, Gary. I would love to have you put me in touch with them.
Yeah. Well, I will definitely connect you after this. Anything that we missed from your notes?
No,
You
it's
got
just
everything
been
there?
an absolute pleasure talking with you here. For any of you who, it is the end of the year. I will tell you, the end of the year is the time where, accountants, CPAs, advisors should really, really be engaging with their clients to get them set up for the new year. So, definitely urge you to visit corpnet.com. We have a plethora of, articles on the critical filings that you don't want to miss advising your clients on when it comes to year end, such as dissolutions, amendments, conversions, domestications, reinstatements. But we can do all of it for you guys, and just visit us at www.corpnet.com.
Very good. All right. Well, thank you, Nellie. Appreciate your time, and we'll look
Thank
you up
you.
in Las Vegas in
Can't wait to meet you in
less than a
person.
month.
Yes.
Likewise.
Take
All right.
care.
Talk
Bye-bye.
soon. Bye-bye.
This episode of the Accounting Insiders podcast is brought to you by Insightful Accountants Be Insightful membership program. Get 9 expert-led training tracks, over 30 CPE hours a year, hands-on workshops, and year-round premium content to grow your skills and your practice. Learn more at blog.insightfulaccountant.com. Just click the premium member content button.